The Detroit Lions are adding exactly what the NFL feared. So we're going to be going through that and 3 other stories in today's video. So make sure to like this video. And if you want more Detroit Lions news content like this, make sure to subscribe to the channel by hitting that red button down below. The first story is Lions bring back former Pro Bowler to bolster defense. The Detroit Lions are making moves to strengthen their defense heading into Week 17. The team announced they are bringing back veteran linebacker Kwon Alexander. They have also promoted defensive back Maurice Norris from the practice squad to the active roster. With the playoffs just around the corner, these signings aim to address depth concerns on both levels of the Lions' defense. Kwon Alexander initially joined the Lions earlier this season. He has now been re-signed to provide much-needed experience and leadership at linebacker. A former Pro Bowler, Alexander played a pivotal role in a pair of critical games for Detroit earlier this season. The linebacker is known for his sideline-to-sideline speed and tackling ability. His return offers stability to a linebacker unit that has dealt with injuries and inconsistency. Alexander's ability to play both inside and outside linebacker makes him an invaluable asset as the Lions prepare for their Week 17 matchup and a potential playoff run. His prior familiarity with the Lions' defensive schemes will allow him to step in and contribute immediately. Kwon Alexander's previous stint with the San Francisco 49ers could play a pivotal role in Detroit's upcoming matchup on Monday night. Having spent the 2019 and 2020 seasons with the 49ers, Alexander brings intimate knowledge of their defensive schemes and tendencies, which could give the Lions an edge in game planning. The Lions face a must-win situation to solidify their playoff stance, and Alexander's insights into the 49ers system could prove invaluable. His familiarity with their personnel and strategy adds another layer of preparation as Detroit looks to secure a critical victory under the bright lights. In addition to Alexander, the Lions have promoted defensive back Maurice Norris from the practice squad. Norris has been with the organization throughout the season and brings energy and depth to Detroit's secondary. While primarily a special teams contributor, Norris has shown flashes of potential in limited opportunities. Norris's promotion comes at a critical time, with the Lions looking to solidify their roster ahead of the postseason. The young defensive back will likely play a rotational role while continuing to make an impact on special teams. Both moves highlight Detroit's commitment to building a defense capable of complementing their high-powered offense. Alexander brings leadership and proven ability to make plays in high-pressure situations, bring confidence to the linebacker unit. Norris adds youthful energy and flexibility to the secondary. With just 2 games remaining in the regular season, the Lions are focused on positioning themselves for a deep postseason run. The additions of Alexander and Norris ensure that the team has the depth and versatility needed to compete at the highest level. The Lions will face the San Francisco 49ers on Monday night, followed by a season finale with their division rivals, the Minnesota Vikings, in a matchup that could determine the division title. The second story is Alex Anzalone injury update. Dan Campbell gives latest news on Lions linebacker. The Detroit Lions have endured a grueling season plagued by injuries, particularly on the defensive side of the ball. Among the positions hit hardest is linebacker, where the absence of key players has tested the team's depth and resilience. One of the most impactful losses has been Alex Anzalone, the team's starting linebacker and a vital leader on defense. Anzalone suffered a broken forearm during the Lions' Week 11 game against the Jacksonville Jaguars. The injury led to him being placed on injured reserve, sidelining him for a significant portion of the season. However, there's growing optimism about his potential return just in time for the playoffs. Lions head coach Dan Campbell recently addressed Anzalone's status, providing an update on his recovery and the likelihood of his return to action. Speaking to reporters, Campbell revealed that while Anzalone is making significant progress, his availability for the team's Week 17 matchup against the San Francisco 49ers remains uncertain. "It's close. I don't know about this week, but it's close," Campbell said, as reported by Jeremy Reisman of Pride of Detroit. The 6 to 8 week recovery timeline initially suggested that Anzalone could be ready before the postseason, and that expectation remains intact. NFL Network insider Ian Rappaport echoed this sentiment, emphasizing Anzalone's importance to the Lions' defense and confirming the likelihood of his playoff return. Alex Anzalone, their playmaking linebacker, one of the better linebackers in the NFL, he has been out since mid-season with a broken forearm. He, too, should be back for the playoffs, Rappaport reported. Despite the mounting anticipation for Anzalone's return, the Lions are treading cautiously. While having him back sooner rather than later would undoubtedly boost the team's defense, Campbell and his staff are prioritizing his long-term health and availability for the postseason. The Lions' goal is to ensure Anzalone is fully recovered and ready to perform at his best when it matters most. Currently, Anzalone has yet to be designated for return from injured reserve, a procedural step required before he can rejoin practices. Even if the designation occurs this week, it does not guarantee he will suit up for the upcoming game against the 49ers. The Lions are likely to evaluate his progress closely during practices before making a final decision. Anzalone's absence has been felt deeply on the field. Known for his playmaking ability and leadership, he has been a key component of the Lions' defensive unit. Prior to his injury, Anzalone had been enjoying a standout season, contributing significantly in both run defense and pass coverage. His instincts, athleticism, and experience have made him one of the most dependable players on Detroit's roster. For the Lions, Anzalone's return would provide a much-needed boost as they prepare for the high-stakes environment of the NFL playoffs. Detroit's defense has shown grit and adaptability in his absence, but the unit has struggled at times against elite offenses. Adding a player of Anzalone's caliber back into the lineup could help solidify the team's chances of making a deep postseason run. The Week 17 game against the 49ers will serve as a crucial test for the Lions as they jockey for playoff positioning. While it's unlikely Anzalone will play in that game, the focus remains on ensuring he's at full strength for the opening round of the playoffs. His leadership on the field and ability to make game-changing plays could prove invaluable in the win-or-go-home atmosphere of the postseason. As the Lions await Anzalone's return, they continue to rely on other members of their linebacker corps to step up in his absence.
So with the NFL season almost coming to an end, we have some money on some great picks, and a great pick that I do love out right now is the 2024-2025 NFC South winner, and that goes to the Atlanta Falcons. So we're going to be putting $50 on this one, but like I mentioned, guys, I make all my bets on BetUS. They have the fastest payouts in the industry and fast and easy deposit process. Right now, they do have a 150% bonus on your first deposit and a 125% bonus on your next two deposits, up to $2,000 with code YouTube150. So just like that, we are going to be placing a bet and we are good to go. That just shows you how fast it is able to do it on BetUS. It is absolutely fantastic. But like I mentioned, guys, right now 150% bonus on your first deposit and then 125% bonus on your next two deposits, up to $2,000 with code YouTube150. So thank you again, but let's get back into the video.
The third story is Detroit Lions get good news following Bears win. The Detroit Lions continue to prove they are a force to be reckoned with in the NFL. On Sunday, December 22nd, they secured a commanding 34-17 victory over the Chicago Bears on the road, maintaining their stronghold in the NFC playoff picture. But the good news didn't stop with their win. Thanks to favorable results in other key NFL matchups, the Lions' path to the coveted number one seed in the NFC playoffs is clearer than ever. Now, the Lions can clinch the top seed with a victory over the San Francisco 49ers on Monday, December 30th, combined with a loss by the Minnesota Vikings. The Vikings face the Seattle Seahawks this Sunday, and the Green Bay Packers in Week 18. As Pride of Detroit reported, Detroit's fate is in their hands, bolstered by a series of fortuitous outcomes. Adding to their advantage, the San Francisco 49ers and Dallas Cowboys were both mathematically eliminated from playoff contention on Sunday, December 22nd, as reported by Adam Schefter. This development significantly simplifies Detroit's path to securing the NFC's top spot. The Philadelphia Eagles, another contender for the NFC's top seed, faced a critical setback over the weekend. As Pride of Detroit's Jeremy Reisman pointed out, their matchup against the Washington Commanders was one of their last realistic chances to lose before closing out the season against the struggling Dallas Cowboys and New York Giants. Detroit, holding key tiebreakers over the Eagles, capitalized on the situation. With Philly's loss and Detroit's victory, the Lions now enjoy a commanding one-game lead and the upper hand in the race for the #1 seed. The Lions' impressive season hasn't just been about wins, it's been about rewriting the history books.